Welcome to your unfiltered guide to navigating the workplace as a Black woman, the Black Womaning in Corporate America podcast with your host, Nicole S. Palmer. I am the CEO and founding partner of Delnick Media, an independent publishing company that amplifies underrepresented and marginalized voices. This podcast was inspired by my award-winning and best-selling book, Playing the Game While Black Womaning in Corporate America. Let's get into it.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Black Womaning in Corporate America with your host, Nicole S. Palmer. And I have a guest that I'm super excited to introduce to you all, Dr. Lisa Pittman. Please, I'm not going to see your thunder, so please introduce yourself. Let the folks at home know who you are.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Nicole. I appreciate being here and really glad to be able to be in front of your audience as well. I am Dr. Lisa Pittman. I am a licensed psychologist and a certified travel coach. I am originally from the Midwest, from Milwaukee, and I currently live in the Washington, D.C. metro area in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been out here for a few years. Before this, I've lived in other states, but one of my biggest, going back to, you mentioned something before our recording about origin story. So, origin from Midwest, from a family of 6 people total. We had four siblings. Okay. I have 3 other siblings. And travel has always been part of our life. My parents were from the South, so we would travel down to Alabama every year, twice a year. And so it's always been something I've done. Domestic travel has been. And if we fast forward several years to 2008, I moved overseas for the first time. And I lived in Singapore for 3.5 years. And that's where, that's where travel turned from a love to a passion. And so that's at the time where I started to travel with more intention. I would set travel goals for myself, and I recognized the importance of just how that made me feel to be able to set a goal and meet it. And so as a result, I've visited all 50 states, I've been to all 7 continents, and I have visited 114 countries. So that's, for me, what traveling with intention can look like. I mean, there are different things for each of those trips, but that's part of it. So along those lines, I'm a Black professional woman, just like you are, and I'm sure many of your guests are as well. And for me, it's really important to make sure that I focus on self-care and well-being, enhancing well-being. And I feel like what you are doing with your work is really important as well, because understanding who we are as people is a part of self-care, and knowing what we need is part of that as well. So for me, travel is part of my self-care as well. I take that when I go on trips and I come back, I value the benefits that has had on who I am as a person and my overall well-being. And so that's something I would encourage other Black professional women to give themselves permission to do as well, is to figure out, if it's not travel, something, whatever that is, that helps them be able to pour into themselves so they can then pour into others.
Yes to all of those things. First of all 50 states, all them countries, like, girl, you're gold, okay? Because I'm trying to be like you when I grew up. I've got my passport's collecting dust. So I need to do this more. And ironically, I wasn't born in the States. Oh, okay. So I'm ashamed to say, you got me beat by a lot.
That's okay. There's no shame in that at all. It just means that there's plenty of opportunity for you to catch up.
Okay, exactly. Yes, thank you very much.
Of course.
And I think one of the things that I really loved about the work that you do, first of all, we are unapologetic here about centering Black women, okay? So y'all see the name of the podcast. I tell y'all that all the time.
Right.
You have a problem with it, you have taken a wrong turn. Please exit immediately, okay?
Right.
Here we center Black.
Yes.
And so I love that. So it's like I was already sold on that. But I also loved how you merge the travel aspect. And that, what I loved and resonated so much for me is the fact that even what you're saying now, it doesn't have to be travel,
right?
But you've got to find a way, an outlet for self-care. Yes. What are you passionate about? And what a perfect time to have this conversation. Hello, y'all, Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Okay. So this is the best time to have it. And I don't know about y'all, even if it's just, look, I need to go get a pedicure. I need to walk out of this little cubicle, whether you're working at home, take the time for self-care. And that's what I love about the work that you're doing and that you're sharing. Yes. And talk to me about how that blends, because as Black women, we know all about intersectionality because we live it. That's like our whole life. Yes. And here you are, this credentialed, hello, doctor in the house.
Yes.
Legit, okay?
Yeah.
And you decided to marry that expertise with travel coaching. So talk to our listeners about that, because I'm intrigued.
Well, I have spent over 20 years as a therapist, as a psychologist. I've actively practiced for over 20 years, including in Singapore. That's what took me to Singapore. And it's always been really important. The objective as a therapist is to help people usually come from a place of deficit to a place of balance, and ideally to a place of optimal functioning. Because deficit usually suggests that they're not functioning optimally, or even at a place where they feel like they can maintain a level of functioning that will be sustainable. And so when I had a goal to reach 100 countries, and when I visited my 100th country, I said, okay, so what do I want to do with this now? It's been very fulfilling to share my story with my friends and family, and other people are always intrigued when they find out about my travel experience. And I wanted it to go a little deeper. And so that mixed with, I also, a part that I didn't share earlier, I just entered the decade of life that was my mother's last. And that brings with it a level of responsibility to make sure that I am maximizing my time on Earth. And for me, travel is part of that. And as I said earlier, it could be anything. So I know that there are other Black professional women who, as you said, with intersectionality and with the expectations that others place on us, and this need to still also feel authentic, I wanted to make sure I presented a platform for people to be able to do some version of what I'm doing. You don't have to be like me. Please don't be like me. I mean, be like yourself, because that's the goal, right? Is to be our best selves. Not, I don't want to be your best self. You want to be your best self.
Exactly.
So for me, the combining of the two, because I already have the therapy background, coaching felt like a natural step. And I don't do therapy and coaching at the same time. I don't have the same clients in one or the other. Coaching is meeting people who are, for the most part, already balanced, going back to what I said earlier about functioning, already balanced, and or maybe are reaching that optimal level of functioning, and helping them maintain that. So I'm able to work from not from a place of deficit to a place of non-deficit, which is probably a word, but to really help them where they are, and then elevate above that. So that's how those two things came together.
That's amazing. And I really like how that you pointed that out, because some people might, I don't even know how to travel. What is travel coaching? I didn't even know that was a thing. So to really explain that to folks so that they can appreciate that. And especially now, I think I'm starting to appreciate the downtime more, and coming from what really started this whole, the podcast journey, the book really came from a place of burnout. I was tired. My body was like, we're done. And if you're not going to take a break, we're going to take it for you.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I, on this journey, really learned is that your body will always collect.
Correct.
So if you decide you're going to pretend and act like you don't see the warning signs all the way to burnout, your body will make sure that you take the time. Hopefully you're still on this side, and it's not too late, because you hear all these other stories as well of people who weren't able to recover from the burnout. So I love that you're so intentional with the work that you're doing, and I think especially during this month is so important. And I mean, right now, I mean, the country has been on fire for a little bit, but I feel like specifically for Black women, like we are going through it right now as a collective. And it really breaks my heart to see how many of us are being displaced by something that everybody pretends is not existing. No, like it is not systemic racism. What are you talking about? You don't know. There's not an attack on DEI. No, it's a total coincidence that 600,000 plus Black women have been systematically removed from the workforce. And so that you're being so intentional in this time, I think it's just like for such a time as this. So I really appreciate the work that you're doing. And I think I want to know a little bit more, because I'm thinking also we have one perspective where you have all these displaced Black women, and well, I can't, travel coaching is not for me. I can't afford this. Can't even go down the street. So what does this look like if I'm wanting to delve into it a little bit? Talk through that for us.
Sure. So I definitely want to be respectful and sensitive to the fact that there are a lot, like you said, many people who are displaced, especially Black women who have been displaced. And as a result, had to be really careful about how they spend their money. They've had to be very intentional about how they spend their time. And they're still, just because they've been displaced doesn't mean that they don't still have these expectations, obligations, and all the other pieces of who they are, the messages that we've learned and been told that we should be as Black women in general and Black professional women in particular. So part of my journey with an individual that I work with in coaching is to help them understand that it's truly about what does it mean to make an investment in yourself. Yeah. Being displaced reflects that you are disposable, literally. Yeah. And that happens so often on so many different levels for so many people. And so it's important for each of us to ask ourselves, well, how do we make sure that we are valuable to ourselves, separate from anybody else? And what does that mean to pour back into ourselves versus always giving? And so maybe, and then being realistic about that. Maybe the giving back is getting the pedicure, like you mentioned earlier. Or maybe the giving back is taking yourself to lunch or going to a movie. It does start small. Maybe it's not you're going to Italy. Maybe you're going to Little Italy in Baltimore. Maybe it's figuring out what that is for you and then being okay with that and being okay with it for now because you're meeting your needs where you are now, and then figuring out how you push yourself that much further. So that's all. And typically the process with me starts with a discovery call. And within that call, we talk about, okay, so where are you in your life? What is it that you're looking for? And what is it that you feel like you need? Where do you need to go with that? How do you give yourself permission to give back to self? Because like I said, we're constantly giving to others. How do we give back to self? And once we identify if it's realistic to work together, and again, it doesn't have to be international trip. Please don't let my quote unquote resume intimidate you, because at the end of the day, I enjoyed my trip to Sedona last weekend just as much as I've enjoyed some of my international trips. I mean, and I enjoy going to other parts of Virginia as much as I do. So it's not really about the destination. It's truly about the journey and how the journey influences the destination. And that's part of what I do when I work with people. Identifying what they're looking for, figuring out what seems realistic, determining if it's a good fit. Am I the right person for you? Is this the right time? And we could quibble over whether or not what it means by right time, but at any rate, and then how do we move forward? And then the journey begins with, let's set up our expectations for success and identify. We're going to define self-care. Yeah. We're going to define what it means to give yourself permission. We're going to address the fear. We're going to address the guilt. We're going to address I'm worried about people judging me. And figure out how we manage the discomfort around all of that, and then figure out a step forward. And so once we work on some of that, and that's coaching, that's not therapy, it's coaching. So once we work through that, then we identify, okay, so how do we establish a trip, whether that's local, whether that's regional, whether that's international? How do we establish a trip that allows you to figure out, okay, how do you feel now and how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel on this trip? How do you want to feel when you get back? And then let's identify the pieces that we can set you up for success so that you can actualize all of that. Yeah. So it gets so far as almost putting a scaffolding or some kind of itinerary around your well-being and your joy. And then identifying, okay, so now how do you put that into practice? Now, I don't book travel. I'm not a travel agent or a travel advisor. I sort of help people figure out what they want to do, and then I can give lots of suggestions about how to book your own. And I can also refer each person to an actual travel advisor who can help them book. Yeah. So that's maybe a longer way of saying, essentially, that's what I would do with an individual. That's what I do with individuals when they come to me.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think what you're sharing essentially is what you're doing as a travel coach is you're equipping people, right? Yes, and correct. So it's not about, okay, I'm going to help you get to plan your trip to Japan. No, we're going to help you step outside your comfort zone. Yes. Here's where you are. Mm-hmm. Where do you want to be? Right. What do you want to accomplish? Yes. And what are the things what are the gaps or shortfalls? Exactly. That are accomplishing that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so powerful. And low key, like, we're both in the DMV, so we might have to do like a reboot, like at a winery or something.
Absolutely. I'm totally down with that. Yes, indeed.
I like to go out. You're a travel coach. Like, we can make this work. Like, come on. Absolutely. A little aside. Right. But I love that. And I think especially because there's so like, I just think about even simple tasks or decisions that there's so much analysis paralysis that we go through in day to day, right? Oh, I need to get this done. I'm just like, and then we like what I love to say about myself is I will think a thing to death. Yeah, like all the different ways, all the possibilities, all the permutations, and then you never actually do or do anything meaningful towards whatever it is you're trying to get done.
Correct.
And so I love that you are really serving as like essentially a guide for people who are just trying to figure out, okay, maybe I'm a homebody, but I know it would be better for my mental health if I just like went out more or just did something for myself. But it all comes back to self-care. And I really love how your practice as a clinician really informs the work that you do with travel coach. So they're like two sides, same coin in a way, because they're two facets, right?
Yes.
And I really love how one informs the other. Yes. And it really, I think, as someone who is trying to get back to a place where I need to put more stamps on my passport, but you have the excuses, and I think even that we tell ourselves excuses. Well, when am I going to get the time off? Or I can't take that much time off, and then we just talk ourselves out of something that could be really fulfilling for us, because we can't see how it could be possible. Right.
And the same energy that we put into talking ourselves out of something could be put into talking yourself into something.
That part, yes.
Because at the end of the day, if you look at it's really about the messages we send to ourselves. And yes, there are greater messages, systemic and so on, that are part of lives. We can't ignore that. And we have to work as people in general, but black women in particular, we have to be able to work on refining our own messages and listening, making sure our own voice is the loudest voice we hear. And so part of that is, okay, so what does it mean to give yourself permission to do anything? Really, get more sleep, get more exercise, sit in the sun for 5 minutes, whatever it might, get that vitamin D, whatever it might be. Because if we look at that in terms of prevention is always going to be cheaper than intervention.
Yes.
Because when you talk about burnout, there's so much intervention that comes with that. Because then you're forced to take time off, or you're forced to be in the hospital, or you're forced to fill in the blank. And so if we're able to look at this as terms of prevention, then that's an investment that is definitely more priceless than anything else.
Yeah. And I've been there, because I was just like, man, if I had to do it all over again, I would have done it this way. I took so much leave. I mean, but then the sad part is I had so much leave because I wasn't taking my leave. Right. Yes. And so then I got to use it all at once because I didn't have a choice. Right. So that is such a powerful thing. And I think that I also like in what you're saying about the concept that of you being a travel coach is also movement, right? Yes. So, you're actually forward momentum. And so it's not just about, I want to make it to this location by the end of the year. It's like, I want to move past where I'm at.
Yes, correct.
Because I'm stuck.
Yes. And that happens for a lot of people, right? I mean, stuckness is a real thing. People do get stuck. And going back to what you were saying earlier about all the reasons why I can't do X, Y, or Z, that just reinforces the narrative that you are stuck and you're going to stay stuck, and then you make it okay to be stuck. I mean, if you're okay being stuck, more power to you. Okay. I'm not going to tell you not to be stuck. But what I am going to say is, what would it be like if you weren't? What are you willing to do to not be stuck? How much discomfort can you actually withstand in order to move beyond the stuckness? And who are your supports? Who can support you in that? Because you're going to need that support, because once you move past the stuckness, the people who are comfortable in your stuckness are going to be uncomfortable.
Okay. Yeah, she's preaching good today.
And that comes from real life experiences, right? We know people. You maybe just like me, you may have ended friendships where that was not something that was really supportive, or they just weren't supportive. Or you may have been, like you've talked quite a bit about your job experiences where the stuckness did other people good. It didn't necessarily do you any good. So
and you start setting boundaries. And I had a conversation recently where had a really great conversation. And I don't want to give it away because she's a future guest. But there was one part that I really enjoyed about our conversation, about setting boundaries. Like, how do you do that? The workplace is used to you being a certain way. How do you then have those boundaries? Right. And the sad part is sometimes we have to leave the place where we're at to get the boundaries back. Right. And you've got to be okay with that.
True.
If the current place isn't conducive to setting those boundaries, you got to be willing to let it go. I had to literally do that. I had to leave my job. That shall not be named, in order to set the boundaries, because I had to start someplace new. But when I started someplace new, I was very clear on my boundaries.
Yeah, that's important.
This is what you get when I'm here. And it's not about being phony, hypocritical, two-faced. This is the part of me I am comfortable sharing.
Yes.
And that's it.
Right. And it takes a level of confidence in self to be able to do that. And it's also really helpful to have supports around you for that too. But like you said, a lot of people don't like to set boundaries because they don't like making other people uncomfortable. But they're willing to be uncomfortable themselves. And that's what you're saying.
Hello?
You're not willing to continue to be uncomfortable. So
I did that for 10 plus years. I'm not doing that anymore.
No.
I'm delivered.
No need for that.
We're not doing that. No more at all. It's exhausting also. And I think you nailed it on the head, is that you're willing to be uncomfortable so somebody else isn't uncomfortable. That is a terrible place to be and to live. I don't know. I think, and it's so true, and I think I saw a clip, I think it was Taraji Henson, where she was like talking about the woman you are at each decade. And by the time you get to your 40s, you're like, okay, yeah, we're not doing that no more. No, we stopped doing that at 39. We're not there.
Exactly.
We're done.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, that's okay. If I want to stay home because I don't want to be out partying, but you have a problem with that, then go find you some partying friends.
Exactly. Correct. Yes. I mean, it's about knowing what's in your best interest, and about knowing, the phrase that a lot of us talk about, protecting your peace. And you can call it protecting your peace. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, it's truly about being authentic, being true to yourself, because you're the one who knows what self-care actually looks like and how to take care of yourself. And yes, you probably have people in your life who can help you support whatever your needs are, but you have to know what those needs are. And then you also have to know what you need from others to get that support. Because there is something to be said about, what is it, a wolf in lamb's clothing? Is that what it is? The biblical piece where they say somebody might come to you as if they have your best intentions, but they really do not. So just being aware of those people in your life and recognizing the importance of setting those boundaries, because if you don't set those boundaries just for them, you're setting them for yourself as well.
Absolutely. And I think that there's also this misconception that protecting your peace means to stay away from drama.
Right.
No.
Much deeper than that. Yeah. Right.
And it does, but I think it sounds good to say, oh, I'm protecting my peace. And it takes a lot of effort, and you have to be very intentional and deliberate to do that. It's not something that just falls in your lap. Oh, I just stay out of the fray and I'm good. No, you have to be very intentional about that. It's a daily practice.
Yes.
And if you don't, because I see it in my current role, where it's okay, if I let those boundaries slip, and they're like, oh, we can do this. No, it is something you have to do every single day, and set your intention on that in order to have people understand what it is your boundaries are. Because if you don't, then they're okay, well, we don't have to worry about that because it's fine.
Right. We're talking about consistency. So consistency with anything that we do. And so if self-care is not something you do consistently, then it's easier to say, oh, I don't need that. I'll just do it another time. I can sleep when I'm dead, which is one of my least favorite things that people say. So finding all these reasons to not do things. And I often tell people there's a fine line between excuses and explanations. There are some things that really actually could explain why you can't. If you truly don't have the money to do it, if you really don't have the resources, if you truly have, there are very legitimate reasons.
Yeah.
And excuses could be legitimate, but they're still excuses. So just being honest with yourself about what that means, and what is keeping you, what's the fear that's getting in the way? What is keeping you from doing what it is that you know you need to do for yourself, whatever that might be?
No, I agree, because I think to your point, like you're saying, like you may not have the funds to take an extravagant vacation. I mean, I look at just using my own marriage as an example. We're about to enter 22 years. We're not Bill Gates type of rich, but we're comfortable.
Right.
But we weren't always there.
Right. Yes.
And so sometimes all you could afford to do is drive to the local park and just go for a walk. But it was one of the highlights of our time, because we were very intentional about spending time together. Not, well, we don't have any money, so we're just going to sit around and look at each other miserable. You find ways to just enjoy that space. And we always, because we were so very willing to enjoy each other when we were in lack, like we are so much more fortunate and able to enjoy ourselves now when we are not in lack.
Right.
Because we set that foundation.
Yes.
And sometimes we are very simple people. We'll travel, we'll do stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, we'll do a sci-fi marathon and be like, man, I had so much fun. That was like awesome.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can either say, well, I don't have the money to do that, so therefore I'm not going to do anything.
Right.
We do ourselves a disservice. And I really love that, just based on what you shared and what I've learned about your work. You push people out of their comfort zone. I think that's really what's important. You gotta be, and I think like my third episode that I ever did, I think it was the first time I was on camera. I was out here in these podcast streets, and it was called getting comfortable being uncomfortable, because I hated being on camera.
Right.
And I think when you think about it, you apply to this current thing, like, okay, you gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that applies to anything.
True.
So I really like that. I'm really excited to apply some more of that and be more intentional in this later era of work. Right. But tell me a little bit more about, I think what is your, I know we all have this dream of legacy, and this is what I want to leave behind. And so what is it, when you look ahead to the work that you're doing now, what is the legacy that you really want to leave? What is the imprint that you want to leave folks as you continue in this work that you're doing?
That's a really good question. When you were asking it, it made me think of, I have a niece and nephew, and I think about them often, especially when I think about where we are in our world now versus where I was their age. And so what's important for me is just to be as authentic and consistent as I possibly can. And so it's not about leaving legacies necessarily. It truly is about leaving a positive impression, or just a realistic impression about who I am and about what they are capable of doing. I mean, I still remember the first time where I did something a few years ago, and my sister showed my niece, who was probably 8 or 9 at the time, and she saw my name and there was a doctor in front of it, and she's like, "Yeah, she's a doctor?" Had no idea. And so my sister was like, "Yeah, she's a doctor." And I don't know if she still thinks about that or not, but it's like having that 8 or 9-year-old brown girl know that she can be a doctor too someday is really important. And her brother, same kind of thing. So being able to be authentic and real. And then the other piece I would leave with people as well is really be willing to do the hard thing. And sometimes the hard thing is letting go of the people that may have been in your life for 20 years. And it just, at some point, it just doesn't serve you anymore. And being authentic with yourself around that, and being willing to manage the grief that comes with that. But while also looking at what you gain from doing something different.
Yeah.
So those would be some of the messages that I would leave, and being able to define for yourself what health means, and what well-being means, and what self-care means, and then being realistic about how you can access getting those needs met within the parameters of what those needs are, and what well-being and health and so on mean for you.
I love that you said that, because I feel like for me that is so resonant. 2025, and I've talked about this before, the tail end, like as one TikToker, 2025 shook me every way but loose. Like I really, it was rough. And but to your point, I made some decisions about relationships and friendships that I thought were one way, and as I recognized that they weren't, I made the decision to part ways. And there was a lot of grief behind that. And it came in waves, because when you do it, you're like, okay, you cut the cord, and then you feel like, okay, it's fine, but then your body doesn't process it all at once. It processes it in pieces. But I recognized that by then I was so set in who I was, and not in a way that I was not flexible, but I was so certain of who I was as a person. And what I would and would not tolerate. And one of the things that really is what I always ask myself when I make those tough decisions, like if I wouldn't tolerate it from the people who I work with, why would I tolerate it from the people that I'm supposed to be in fellowship with?
Good question. Very good question.
And you shouldn't. And that in itself is a form of self-care.
Absolutely.
And it also doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just could mean that you're not compatible. Like there's not alignment. And that's the other thing that I think that people need to understand. Like, every relationship doesn't break because one person is bad and one is good, or one person is taking advantage. It just could be that you're at different seasons in your life and no longer in alignment, because what you are okay with, you could be, your maturity could be at a different stage. If you're just like, I'm no longer there, I will no longer put up with this.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's okay. But they might not believe that. And so if that is where you are, I love that you say, give yourself time to grieve, because you will grieve. I promise y'all. Like, it will. Like,
People don't recognize you can grieve beyond just death. People usually only associate grief with death. And the reality is, grief is any kind of loss. So whether it's the death of a friendship, or it could be a person, but a friendship or any kind of interaction you've had with somebody, that's part of that grief process. And the other part too, like you were just saying, and I really like how you said that, around basically what you're saying is, as you get older, yourself better. And at least as you are willing to take a look inside, you know yourself better. And so, to be fair, there are people out there who are abusers and who do things that are very inappropriate and very wrong, and they are hurtful. So we're not going to say, oh, just stay with that person because you should be able to get over that. No, the reality is, you still have to, in general, what I would say is, for sure, you have to know what your non-negotiables are. And as we get older, we learn more about what that is. I'm in that decade of life. My mother only lived about 8 years beyond where I am right now. So if I only have 8 years to live, I'm not putting up with everything. I'm not putting up with a whole lot, actually. I'm setting boundaries firm or more firmly than I did before. And that's going to make some people uncomfortable. So be it. Because it's worth it for me to invest in myself in that way, because setting boundaries is an investment in self as well.
I agree with that 1,000%. And I think the other thing that you're also teasing out is the fact you spot it a lot faster. Like when them
indeed.
kind of be like, hey, big head, you're like, block. No.
Right. Exactly. No.
And so that's what you'll notice. And I think that can be startling and a little bit disorienting. Because before I got here, like, it took me a minute. It took me a couple tries. Like the children of Israel. It was like a couple days journey. It took them 40 years. Like, I'm a Bible girl. Y'all know I'm a bust out the Bible. I'm just saying. Like, that was supposed to take a couple of days.
Right.
It took them 40 years. Like, that's like, let's just kind of think about that for a minute. And that is not the human experience.
Right.
Because we laugh and be like, that's ridiculous. But it's like, y'all do it all the time. Like, how many times you done took that person back? How many times you done let that person get away with? How many times that job done did all them things to you? 40 years? 40 years?
Well, they say, one of the tenets that I usually share with clients and other people that I know is that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So unless somebody has significantly made changes and is demonstrating actively and consistently, going back to that word consistent, unless they're doing that, you have to really pay attention to what those patterns of behavior were beforehand, not just others, but your own. I have to make sure that I'm very true to myself around that as well. And being around kids really makes that, because they will mimic anything you do, as you know, I'm sure. So that's something, they hold you accountable, but now it's a time for us to hold ourselves accountable, and that's another form of self-care. Hold yourself accountable, hold yourself to the standards and expectations that you have for yourself and that you know will best serve you, and then be willing to adjust as you need to, and be willing to manage whatever discomfort comes from that.
Yes, to all of that. Y'all thought we were just going to be talking about travel coaching, didn't y'all?
Right.
I know how we do over here.
It's much deeper than that.
Okay. Y'all know there be layers on layers, okay? So aren't you glad y'all came in and joined us on this conversation, on this journey, okay?
Right. Welcome, everybody. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So I would love for you, if they only can get one snippet from this conversation, that you would want to leave them with, whether it's advice or your mantra, whatever it is, what would be that one piece or gem that you would love to let folks in the audience know?
Well, going back to what you said about layers, I think the one piece of advice I have has sort of subparts to it. So the overall is redefine what self-care means for you. And take that energy, reclaim that energy that you give to others, reclaim it for yourself. And then give yourself permission to take that energy and actually truly invest it in yourself. Because as you said earlier, your body will tell you when it's time to stop. People get sick because if they don't slow down, then the body says it's time to slow down. So same here. If you have energy to be able to invest in self, do it while you have the choice to do so, because then that's so much more beneficial for everybody involved. And like I said earlier, prevention is much cheaper than intervention. And so because of that, self-care. So being able to do that, if you're afraid, do it anyway. People say, oh, if you're afraid, do it anyway, you have nothing to lose. You may have something to lose, but you have so much more to gain. So I would say focus on what you have to gain when it comes to what you know you want to do as far as investing in yourself.
Yeah, I really like that. And I also love what you're saying about doing things afraid. I look at this past year, even though it was very rough at the tail end, 2026 is trying to give it a run for its money. So y'all, please, Jesus, universe, slow down.
Yes.
I mean, can we get a timeout, please?
Right.
But one of the things that I really took away from this whole entire journey that I've been on is that everything I did afraid, everything I did unsure, I didn't think anybody. I was like, look, if one person buy my book, and even if that one person is my mother, I will have succeeded.
Right, exactly.
I was like, look, I got the what? Look, okay, and then to hear from hundreds of people, and that was the last count. I think we actually broke over 1,000 now. But
that's awesome.
To hear from so many people from multiple countries, I was like, I'm out here. Okay, U.S. I'm like, no, Canada, France, other like people from other countries saying we saw ourselves in these stories in this book. I felt like you were like on my shoulder just telling my whole life. And to hear that resonate with so many people, and then to see the growth that has happened, I didn't anticipate any of that, and I had no idea where it was going to go, but I didn't want to look back and say what if or what could have been. And I don't have it all figured out. I tell you all the time, look, this is a work in progress. But at the same time, don't allow that to stop you from pursuing it, because you still have a story to share. Everything that you are experiencing, someone is at that very stage and needs to hear exactly what you are willing to share in this moment in time. And that's the whole point. The whole point is that we're not supposed to have it figured out. We're supposed to be helping each other get along and go along. And so if you're willing and open to share where you are right now and to create that space for others so they can feel like, oh my God, it's not just me. Oh, wow. It wasn't in my head. Like they were out here gaslighting me. This really happened, and this is happening to other people. The more we do that, the more we can start shifting the narrative. I don't know that it will ever be perfect in our lifetime, sadly, but we can keep pushing forward. And we don't have to give up just because, well, it's never going to change. We still need to try to continue to move that forward, and to do it afraid, to do it terrified, do it afraid. Write the book. I wrote my first book in my 40s, y'all. I was in my 40s. I wasn't fresh off of high school and college. I hear about all these prodigies. The majority of us are not prodigies. That's okay. That is a very small minority, folks.
Very small.
So don't say, well, I'm this old, or I done this. Life has passed me by. If you still have breath in your body, life is not passing by. It is right there.
So like you said, whatever it is that people are afraid of, you said write the book. I say take the trip. People, you can fill that in with whatever it is that you need to fill it in with, and just be willing to accept that's okay for you. Give yourself permission to have that be okay for you.
And celebrate yourself. That's important too. I'm very intentional about, I consider my birthday a national holiday. So
Same.
Don't look for me on my birthday, okay? No, I won't work. No, I'm not covering. It's a recurring PTO.
Same.
Same time every single year. So no, y'all will not going to see me. And don't ask, because I will not.
Don't ask.
Okay?
Exactly.
So celebrate yourself. And it could be just do something, a staycation. Just sleep in and just look up at the ceiling and smile, because you don't got to work.
Exactly.
Just those, we have to take time to just be more appreciative of just the small graces is what I've heard it called. Because life is so short.
It is.
And I think we're when we're young, we're all racing to grow up. Mm-hmm. And then when we grow up, we realize that our parents was telling us the truth, and they're like, you need to slow down.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that glamorous. Or like somebody said, there's a reason why adult is called the hood. Adulthood. It is ghetto.
Mm-hmm. It can be, yes. Adulting is not easy. So, yeah.
So to try to rush and then also then to not appreciate when you're here, that we need to do that. We need to be more mindful of that and appreciate the moments that we have, because life is not promised.
Not at all.
And so if you guys don't, if nothing else for this, especially for Mental Health Awareness Month, have this conversation. Self-care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Self-care.
Yes. Period.
It's so important.
Yeah. Don't have to justify it. You just have to enjoy it. And that's important.
Take the self-care day. Take the day, take the day off. Mm-hmm. Go for a walk.
Yes. If
your boss is getting on your nerves or whoever. Mm-hmm. Take that walk.
Right.
Get some air.
Yes.
Go get some sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
It'll do you some good.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes. Read 100%. 100%.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, like, we could have a whole other hour conversation.
We could.
I feel like we would just get warmed up. This is just the appetizer. We just get ready to go to the main course. Look out for we don't have to do it on location. We might have to have some people come along and like just come out with us. Okay. Do a live podcast out here in the DMV TBD location. We'll let y'all know.
Sounds good. I'm there.
We need to do something about that. Yeah, this was such a pleasure. I'm so glad we had the opportunity to talk. Yeah, you guys, we're going to put all her information in, but really quick before I play us off, if people want to get a hold of you and reach out, what is the best way for them to get a hold of you? Please let the folks know.
Sure. So the best way to reach me is actually via email. So my email is Lisa, Lisa, at thetraveldocta. So TRAVELDOCTA, not ORA.
Docta, okay?
Yes.
Put some stank on it.
.com. So that's the best way to reach me via email. I do have a website, so it's thetraveldocta and then LLC.com, which is my website. Or I'm also on LinkedIn as Dr. Lisa Pittman. So you can find me. Those are the main ways to find me. I also am on Instagram. Since I travel a lot, I take a lot of pictures when I travel. So I have an Instagram, but I also have a blog. So if you just type in Travel Docta, there'll be a couple different things that come up. And so on Instagram, I am the Travel Docta. And I'm sure you'll have show notes, so you'll put this in there as well. And then also my blog is just traveldocta.com, so that's different from the business website. So my blog has all the continents are represented on the blog. So you can take a look at that, look through the blog, and then on one of my pages I have other additional photos. So
yeah, like if y'all need some inspiration, if you need to like, okay, what could be possible for me? Y'all better go check her out, okay? Yes, look at all this melanin, and she is just out here, like just planting like flags all over the continents, on all the continents, okay? So yes, it is possible. You can too. And if you're trying to figure out where to get started, go find her, look at the show notes, and go get in touch with her, because I don't regret it. This was like, for me, I'm already like, okay, we got plans.
And I'm happy to help you with those plans whenever I can. So it's all great. Okay. And I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, and I do have openings for clients, for coaching clients, so feel free, reach out, and I'm happy to work with people. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This was a phenomenal episode. Great way to bring in Mental Health Awareness Month. And as always, until next time, take care.
Thanks for tuning in to Black Womaning in Corporate America, the podcast. If today's episode spoke to you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, or submit a 5-star rating wherever you're listening. And don't forget to grab your copy of Playing the Game While Black Womaning in Corporate America, available now wherever books are sold. Until next time, take care.